We start tonight with a massive fire that tore through a Hollywood home. An investigation has officially launched after the devastating blaze engulfed a residence in the area. We dive into the details of this unfolding tragedy and what we know so far about the fire and the aftermath.
Here's a simple way to protect your phone without stress. This Allen 3-pack comes with tempered glass screen protectors, camera lens protectors, and an installation frame for an easier, cleaner fit. It's clear, case-friendly, and built to help guard against scratches and everyday bumps. Check the link in the comments to get it on Amazon.
Next up, we look at the world of literature and television with a review of BritBox's new series. The Hollywood Reporter breaks down The Other Bennett Sister, examining how it redefines the classic romance by focusing on the journey of self-discovery for the character Mary. Find out why this adaptation is striking and how it reframes the original story. In business news, we turn to the high-stakes world of scams. David Bloom, known as the Wall Street Whiz Kid, has pleaded no contest to multiple counts of fraud after allegedly using Hollywood glamour to pull off massive stock scams. We explore the details of his scheme and the serious legal consequences he now faces. And finally, we look at a disturbing local incident in Hollywood. Father and son Paul David Bennett Jr. and Paul David Bennett Sr. have both been charged with second-degree assault following an alleged altercation stemming from a landlord-tenant dispute. We cover the arrest and the charges filed in this developing local story. Stay with us for more breaking news. A major fire has recently devastated a home in Hollywood, prompting an immediate investigation by CBS News. Details regarding the cause and extent of the damage are currently under review as authorities look into the incident. Further updates are expected as the investigation unfolds. BritBox's new series, The Other Bennett Sister, is successfully reframing the classic Pride and Prejudice narrative by focusing on the journey of self-discovery for the secondary character, Mary. The production, adapted by Sarah Quintrell, adopts a refreshingly grounded tone and a strong sense of empathy, standing independently while nodding to Jane Austen's original work. The series follows Mary, portrayed by Ella Bruckelry, who is characterized as an outsider, not the beautiful or witty sister, but the odd duck seemingly destined to be overlooked. The narrative begins with a faithful retelling of the initial events from Mary's perspective, contrasting with the main plot where Elizabeth meets Darcy. While the other Bennett sisters pursue marriages, Mary remains at home with her critical mother and disengaged father. The pacing is brisk, with a pivotal shift occurring in the second episode when Mary is sent to London, launching the remaining episodes into uncharted waters. The series explores Mary's romantic pursuits, including interactions with potential suitors like Mr. Ryder and Mr. Hayward, but the focus is heavily shifted toward her self-actualization. The story positions Mary's love life as secondary to her personal growth, portraying her transformation from an insecure wallflower into an independent young woman. This narrative structure is likened to a modern coming-of-age story, allowing Mary to blossom away from the overshadowing family dynamic. While the series features minor flaws, such as overly cartoonish portrayals and some reliance on fan service tropes, its strength lies in its command of tone and characterization. Bruckelry's performance is highlighted as a major asset, conveying complex emotions through subtle expressions, inviting viewers into a close study of the character. Ultimately, The Other Bennett Sister succeeds by delivering both a romance and a profound coming-of-age journey in a unique way, making it an indelible watch. David Bloom, a twice-convicted con man known as the Wall Street Whiz Kid, pleaded no contest Tuesday to multiple counts of grand theft and securities fraud in Los Angeles. Bloom is facing a potential decade in prison at a forthcoming June hearing. Authorities stated that Bloom spent years exploiting the trappings of luxury, specifically a historic Hollywood apartment complex and an old LA bar, to deceive victims on the West Coast. The investigation revealed that Bloom used the allure of Hollywood glitz to lure people into financial scams. He projected an image of wealth, promising connections to major industry figures and access to lucrative opportunities. Specifically, Bloom claimed he had early access to sell shares of companies poised for public listings, including Instacart, Soho House, and Snapchat. At least a dozen individuals reportedly invested approximately $190,000 with Bloom in 2021. Prosecutors detailed how Bloom ingratiated himself with bar regulars and apartment residents by making grand promises, such as securing screenplays for Netflix or arranging Super Bowl tickets, while name-dropping billionaires to build false credibility. The total amount defrauded in Bloom's schemes is estimated to be around $250,000. The case had been scheduled for trial in April, but proceedings were delayed due to medical complications after only one witness testified. Bloom returned to court to enter the plea deal Tuesday afternoon. Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman issued a statement condemning the actions, stating, "David Bloom didn't just lie. He stole from people who trusted him, while he treated their livelihoods as his own personal bankroll. Today's no-contest plea makes clear that those who exploit others for personal gain will face serious consequences." Bloom's history includes prior convictions. In the 1980s, he was dubbed the Wall Street Whiz Kid after being charged federally with bilking nearly 140 people out of $15 million, including his own grandmother, by falsely presenting himself as the head of an investment group founded at Duke University. He was later convicted of larceny and business law violations in 2000 for scams targeting Manhattan restaurant employees. In the Los Angeles case, Bloom's initial arrest in August 2022 followed confrontations with residents of the Villa Carlotta apartment complex regarding lost investments. Prosecutors highlighted a specific instance where Bloom approached a man in a Culver City bar, promising access to a specialist at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center to help his wife receive a second opinion, in exchange for a $7,500 stock purchase in an Israeli tech company, despite not actually knowing the doctor. Caroline DeMore, a resident of the complex, expressed a mix of relief and sadness regarding the outcome, noting that Bloom would be spending his remaining years in prison. Paul David Bennett Jr., 39, and Paul David Bennett Sr., 72, both residents of Hollywood, Maryland, have been charged with second-degree assault following an investigation into an incident at their Hollywood residence on April 27, 2026. The charges were filed in the St. Mary's County District Court on April 28, 2026. The incident began as a reported civil dispute between a landlord and tenant concerning the use of a washing machine. Deputies responded to Iron Horse Lane at approximately 7:40 p.m. on April 27, 2026, for a reported assault involving an adult male victim. Court documents indicate that deputies initially de-escalated the situation and left the residence. However, the victim later contacted the police, reporting that he had been locked out and subsequently assaulted after re-entering the home. According to the statement of probable cause, the victim alleged that both defendants jumped and struck him multiple times. Deputies observed visible injuries, including a red mark on the victim's left cheek below his eye, a scratch on his chest, and a knot on his head accompanied by a developing headache. In their initial appearances, both Paul David Bennett Jr. and Paul David Bennett Sr. denied the assault, reportedly telling deputies they believed the victim had injured himself because he was crazy. Deputies noted that investigators determined both defendants were the aggressors based on the victim's account, the physical evidence, and their statements. The report also noted that the men had reportedly been living together at the residence for about 3 weeks. Both defendants were transported to the St. Mary's County Detention and Rehabilitation Center and subsequently released on their own recognizance after initial appearances before District Court Commissioner Alexis Commodore. As conditions of release, both men were ordered not to abuse, threaten, or intimidate the victim, and to refrain from further criminal activity while the cases are pending. Both defendants waived attorneys during their initial appearances. Hearings for both cases are scheduled for June 2, 2026, at 9 a.m. in Courtroom 2 of the St. Mary's District Court.